Welcome to Mindful with Mina, where we explore how mindfulness can enhance your relationships and well-being. I'm your host, Mina B, a licensed social worker, mental health educator, and author. Through insightful discussions, I will guide you towards self-awareness and self-efficacy, empowering you to effectively manage your relationships, reduce burnout, and be more present with yourself. So let's jump into today's episode. What's up, Mindful community? Welcome back to another episode of Mindful with Mina. I'm your host, Mina B. And before I jump into today's episode, I have a question for you. Are you based in New York City and looking for therapy support? Because if the answer is yes, I am so excited to share that I'm taking on new clients. I currently offer virtual sessions for adults, and I will be expanding to in-person sessions soon. But if you are ready to jump back into therapy, maybe you paused for a while, or maybe you are on the hunt for a new therapist, click the information in the description box below so that you can book a consultation call with me to see if we're a good fit. You can also head to my website to learn more about the type of clients that I work with, my therapeutic modality and background, and anything else that you want to learn about therapy. So let's jump into today's episode. So for today's episode, I am going to be diving into a topic that is fundamental to our well-being and success, and that topic is self-efficacy. You might have heard the term before, but do you truly understand what self-efficacy means and how it impacts your life? If not, don't worry, I've got you covered. In this episode, I'm going to break down what self-efficacy is, why it's so important, and how it shapes our mental health. So I first want to define what self-efficacy is. It is a concept that was introduced by psychologist Albert Bandura, and it refers to your ability to accomplish tasks, solve problems, and achieve goals. So in simple terms, self-efficacy is your confidence in your ability to handle life's challenges. It's not about being cocky or delusional and assuming that you will never fail in life. Instead, it's about having trust in your capacity to learn, adapt, and persevere. Self-efficacy influences how you think, feel, and behave. When I talk to people about the numerous projects that I've started or the different career paths that I have taken, particularly as a social worker, however, a lot of people are amazed at my adaptability and the fact that whenever I get a new idea, I start it, I try it. I'm really, really big on deciding that if there is something that I really want to pursue, I'm just going to pursue it and see what happens. And the reason why I have that type of mindset is I truly believe that failing is okay. I do not believe that failing dictates who we are as people. I believe that failing is an experience, and every experience that we have in life are lessons that we go through, and we can learn from them. I do my best to make sure that I am not someone who is risk averse, meaning I'm not afraid to take risks. I want to make sure that if there is something that I want for myself or if I want to pursue that, I am going to tackle that thing by first identifying what do I need to achieve this goal? What are the barriers to that goal? How can I problem solve so that I can overcome those barriers? And even if I fail after, how can I adapt? And what do I need to do to continue to persevere? There might be times where I might realize, actually, this thing is not for me, and so I'm just going to stop. Or there are times where I might realize, oh, I don't even have enough resources to do this thing. This is why I'm failing. Or maybe I need a mindset shift because I'm approaching it from a particular perspective that isn't healthy, or I just don't have the knowledge to tackle this thing. And so I need to learn more, or I need to surround myself with people who have achieved this before so that I can learn from them. My mind is just always spinning when it comes to how I can grow as a person and how I can achieve the things that I want in life. And so self-efficacy is really all about influence. and the things that you allow to influence you and the mindset that you have when it comes to achieving goals and living the life that you believe you deserve. Studies actually show that people with high self-efficacy are more likely to take on difficult tasks, stay motivated in the face of setbacks, and bounce back after failure. On the flip side, low self-efficacy can lead to self-doubt, procrastination, and a tendency to give up easily. So I'm curious to know, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being high self efficacy and 1 being low self efficacy, where do you think you fall on that spectrum? Do you feel like you are somebody who is risk averse? You are afraid to take risks? You tend to doubt yourself a lot when you cultivate new ideas. You don't think that you can achieve them. You procrastinate as a result of experiencing self doubt and having low self esteem. And the moment something is hard, you just say, nah, I'm good. I'm going to take a step back. I give up. Because if that's you, that sounds like you might have low self efficacy. But if you are somebody who you're like, you know what, this is hard, but I'm going to figure it out. This is hard. That means I need to figure out what resources I need. Maybe I need mentorship. Maybe there are people that I know who have achieved this, and so I'm going to reach out to them to learn from them. I'm going to be the person to ask hard questions. I recognize there's no such thing as a stupid question. I'm not afraid to embarrass myself because I also realize there's nothing embarrassing about not knowing something. There's no need to be embarrassed about trying to grow, obtain knowledge, and do better in life. If you have that type of mindset, you probably have high self-efficacy. And so if you recognize that you fall on the lower end of the spectrum, I want you to identify what is getting in the way of you having high self-efficacy. I want you to ask yourself questions like, what gets in the way of me being able to achieve the things that I want in life? I want you to ask yourself, what are the thoughts that I have when it comes to trying new things or accomplishing tasks or even problem solving? Do you believe that you're not worthy of the thing you're trying to achieve? Do you think you're not smart enough to achieve specific goals? Why do you give up easily on things? Do you believe that things are just supposed to happen easily all the time? Do you think that things are supposed to fall into your lap? Do you have a sense of entitlement, where you feel like you shouldn't have to work hard for certain things? There's a lot of reasons for why we can have low self-efficacy. It could even be certain mental scripts. We tell ourselves, I'm not smart. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy enough. Again, going back to this idea that if I mess up, that means I am a failure versus I messed up at this thing and I failed at this thing, and it is an experience that I can learn from. So I just want you to be thinking about the different ways that you might be standing in your own way and how a lack of self-efficacy is also impacting your mental health. Because self-efficacy is more than just a psychological concept. It's a key driver of mental health and well-being. So I want to share with you some reasons why having self-efficacy is important. 1, it can boost resilience. People with strong self-efficacy are better equipped to handle stress and setbacks. They view challenges as opportunities to grow rather than threats to avoid. When you have this type of mindset, you move through the world with a sense of audacity. And for 2025, audacity is my word for the year. I am going to be audacious with every endeavor I am trying to pursue. Because at the end of the day, if I try to achieve something and it doesn't work out, hey, it just doesn't work out. That is my mindset when it comes to tackling things in life. If it doesn't work out, it just doesn't work out. You move on and you grieve and you process the emotions that's attached to that loss. But at the end of the day, you move on. I think what happens for a lot of people is we allow setbacks to determine who we are. We also allow setbacks to determine our future. So we say, if I messed up right now, oh, I can't accomplish anything. And so you start to engage in catastrophic thinking, especially if you struggle with anxiety. So I really want you to challenge the beliefs that you have about yourself and what you can achieve. But I also want you to challenge those cognitive distortions, such as making assumptions or fortune telling, where you think you can tell the future, or the catastrophic thinking, where you create all of these worst case scenarios. Learn to stay in the present. The second thing regarding self efficacy and our mental health is that it enhances motivation. When you believe in your abilities, you're more likely to set ambitious goals and work consistently toward achieving them. I also want to say when you believe in yourself, you're more likely to set ambitious goals and work consistently toward achieving them. Think about something that you could care less about. Think about a job that you hated so much. Did you care to wake up in the morning on time, to get to that job on time, to do half of the tasks that they wanted you to do? Maybe the weekend would come, it's Sunday again, and you're like, oh God, I got to go back to this stupid job that I hate. I have to do this particular task that I don't like to do. Think about how certain experiences strip us of our motivation. So when you are really, really motivated about something, and it's because you believe in it, it's something that you're passionate about, something that you care for, you might find a shift in the way that you behave. You are more likely to be ambitious. There's a higher likelihood that you'd be interested in pursuing this thing. And even when it feels hard, because this thing is so important to you and you also have a belief that you can overcome this obstacle, you don't allow hardship to stand in the way of the thing that you're trying to pursue. So I want you to think about your belief system. Do you believe in your abilities and do you believe in yourself? Because if you don't believe in yourself, well, that is the foundation, and you're starting off with a rocky foundation if you don't believe in yourself. So I want you to be thinking about your confidence, your self-esteem, and your self-worth. And I want you to be thinking about, do you need to improve that so that you can also improve your self-efficacy? The third thing is self-efficacy improves general mental health. Research shows that self-efficacy is linked to lower levels of anxiety and depression. When you trust yourself to navigate life's ups and downs, you feel more in control and less overwhelmed. The other part to this is you learn how to shift your mindset to the things that you can control. And as a result of that, you can also feel less overwhelmed because you realize, listen, if this is the outcome and I can't control it, then I need to engage in radical acceptance and I just need to cope. I may need to grieve, but I need to accept that this is what's happening. And by accepting what's happening, I can be more in control of my emotions because I can control how I respond to hardship. And when I'm controlling how I respond to hardship, it's also helping me identify what I need to move forward. It's helping me identify what I need to handle stress. It's helping me identify what resources I need to move forward. And it's also allowing me to not feel overwhelmed by trying to do it all and carry it all. So I want you to be thinking about your own feelings of anxiety and depression, if you ever have that, and how that might be linked to you having lower levels of self-efficacy. So if you, again, struggle with self-doubt, you give up easily, you're one of those people that, you tend to wallow, honestly. You're always wallowing in your emotions versus processing your emotions. And when we wallow, what we do is we say, oh man, I feel this emotion, and we allow that emotion to dictate our decisions. And we also allow ourselves to be so engulfed in that emotion that we kind of succumb to it versus saying, this emotion is an experience that is going through my body. Happiness can enter my body and so can sadness. But sadness can leave my body the same way happiness leaves my body. They're constantly rotating in and out. They're constantly coming through the door of my home. Your body is your home, and these are emotions that constantly come to visit. But the same way happiness comes to visit, sadness will come to visit too. But guess what? They also leave at some point and they come back. and then they leave again. And so you recognize it is just an experience where I have all of these different emotions that ebb and flow through me. There are going to be times where I'm in a state of happiness. There are going to be times where I'm in a state of sadness. But guess what? Happiness can come back to me. Happiness is not gone forever. There's a feeling of knowing that there is safety and security in recognizing that our emotions are fleeting. And all of the different emotions that I feel, they come and they go. So I want you to be thinking about your self-efficacy and where you fall on that spectrum and what you can do to improve it. The last thing is self-efficacy fosters independence. A strong sense of self-efficacy can empower you to rely on yourself. You make decisions with confidence and you take ownership of your life. Ultimately, what this means is you trust yourself. You believe that you make good decisions and you go after the things that you want to achieve. So I want to dive into how self-efficacy can shape our mental health. When you have high self-efficacy, you're less likely to experience something called learned helplessness, which is a state where you feel powerless to change your circumstances. This belief in your ability to take action creates a sense of agency and control, which is essential for maintaining emotional well-being. Now, on the flip side, low self-efficacy can fuel feelings of inadequacy, self-doubt, and hopelessness, all of which contribute to mental health struggles like anxiety and depression, as I named earlier. Research actually supports this connection. A study published in the Journal of Health Psychology found that individuals with higher self-efficacy reported better coping strategies and lower levels of stress during challenging situations. Similarly, a 2020 review in the Journal of Behavioral Medicine highlighted how self-efficacy serves as a protective factor against mental health challenges. So what all of this is saying is that self-efficacy is a requirement in order to grow, heal, and evolve. So now that you know how important self-efficacy is, I'm going to give you some tools on how you can build and strengthen it. The first thing that you need to do is start with small wins. Success breeds confidence. Set achievable goals and celebrate your progress, no matter how small. Each win reinforces your belief in your abilities. I also want you to practice the power of pause when it comes to achieving your goals. Because a common thing that I see people do is we achieve something, and next thing I know is we're immediately setting a new milestone, and we didn't really honor the fact that we achieved this thing that we had been working hard for so long. I want you to think about how you're constantly moving your metrics of success. And so if you achieve something, but you're really not giving yourself an opportunity to celebrate that win, honor your progress, and really just sit in the fullness of that achievement, because now you're like, all right, on to the next, on to the next, on to the next. It's going to be really hard to recognize your belief in your abilities because you're not really honoring the process of it. So start with small wins, but also learn to practice the power of pause when you win. Pause and celebrate that achievement before you move on to the next thing. The next thing I want to share is learn from role models. I truly believe that who you surround yourself with can play a role in your ability to develop resilience as well as self-efficacy, because you want to be around people who model that for you. If you are around people who give up just as easily as you, where every time y'all are together, all y'all do is wallow in your emotions and you complain, and that is your way of bonding, then I'm going to challenge you to be around people who their mindset makes you uncomfortable. And what I mean by that is they are so determined, they have high self-esteem, they have high levels of confidence, they're always pursuing something, they're not risk averse at all, they are not afraid to take risks, they are always going after something. I want you to surround yourself with people with that type of mindset and those skills. Because modeling is one of the best ways that we can learn from people. This is why we have the term role models, because they're modeling for us a particular lifestyle or way of being that is achievable if we work hard for it. The next thing I want you to do is reframe your negative thoughts. This is important. Pay attention to your inner dialogue. When you catch yourself thinking things like, I can't do this, or I'm not good enough, or I'm not smart enough, I want you to challenge that thought and replace it with, I'm learning and I'll figure this out. These are things that I can figure out. So empower yourself by telling yourself that as well. That is a form of empowerment by knowing that I can figure this thing out versus I can't do this. The next thing I want you to do is practice self-compassion, because remember, building self-efficacy is a journey. It is not a destination. So be kind to yourself when things don't go as planned and focus on what you can learn from the experience. I also think it's really important for us to be open to seeking feedback for growth opportunities. I want you to be open to asking for constructive feedback and embrace opportunities to grow, even if they feel uncomfortable at first. Even if that feedback feels uncomfortable, remember, discomfort is not synonymous with being unsafe. So I don't want you to create this mindset that somebody who is giving you constructive feedback is attacking you. That's not always the case. A lot of us like to pay attention to impact versus intent. But if there's someone in your life who you really care about and someone that you know cares about you and your well-being, I want you to also understand that sometimes intent does play a role in helping us shape impact. So somebody can say something to you and it might feel uncomfortable, but do you think their intentions really are to harm you or to attack you? They're probably saying something from their heart, and they're probably saying it to you because they care about you. But at the end of the day, the truth can hurt sometimes. And I want you to be okay with allowing the truth to hurt. So this is what I want to leave you with. I want you to understand that self-efficacy is the foundation for personal growth, resilience, and mental well-being. It's about trusting yourself to navigate life's challenges, learn from your experiences, and keep moving forward. If you're feeling stuck or doubting your abilities, remember this: you have the power to change your narrative. So start small, be patient, and celebrate every step of progress. Thank you for joining me on today's episode. If you found it helpful, please share it with a friend. Please also remember to rate and review this podcast wherever it is that you listen to your podcast. To continue learning from me, make sure you subscribe to my newsletter, Mindful with Mina, as well as my newsletter, I'm So Mature. You can follow me on social media, and also you can buy my book, Owning Our Struggles, which is available across all book retailers. Be sure to take care of your mind and continue to believe in yourself. Until next time.